Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Oyas Osa, you are Miss Sally.
It's T-Pain, it's T-Pain.
Everything will be all right.
So even my name now is becoming a problem. Oh, God help me. I am Osajuwame Sally. Hello, Marianne Duke Code. Marianne went to. Should I tell them where you went to?
America.
I was taking permission first, though. And she was busy
Me, I cannot
going
keep
from
quiet.
one state to another. But how was your trip?
It was fun.
I was really shocked that you didn't attend the Onga.
Well, I was supposed to, but then it was a very chaotic situation in New York, flights-wise, hotel-wise, and so I couldn't make it. Really, I was supposed to be there. I had 2 sessions I was supposed to be part of, but hey, I watched from the sidelines. It was really fun.
Yeah. How was your trip, though, generally?
It was very relaxing. Not by fuel. I did not have to sit in traffic. There was food everywhere. For our $1 I shop. I don't need to stress myself. I was not in any. I mean, life was just good. I'm sorry, guys. I love you.
It's okay.
It was a great trip.
Next
And
week
I
you'll
made-
be.
I-
Wake up, you.
I made a Dikan Kong that was made in Atlanta. You know, you cook jollof rice when you go there.
Oh, you were watching my.
Me, I cook.
I don't know why they make us cook.
I
Like,
know, because they
because
wait
they
for
don't
you.
have-
They keep all the condiments and wait for
And you
you.
know the funny thing, my sister is still eating all the meals I cooked till
no.
now. That's to tell you how much
They stored it.
I was Iya Basira in the US.
I'm telling you, I was in Dallas.
I
I
cooked
cooked in
so
Dallas. I was in Atlanta. Some my colleagues just said, "You go cook Thai because." But then, hey, I mean, you don't get to see them every day. So
Absolutely.
when they see
and
you,
it's
they have
actually
to
for
milk
me,
it.
it's fun cooking. Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
fun.
very therapeutic.
Hi, Messi.
Hola.
Messi has plans.
Messi, ah!
Hola. Hola, everybody.
Messi, what are your plans tonight, darling?
Nothing. Just to be on a great show with you ladies and have a great time.
Messi,
You know,
you're
just
very
talk about the.
political.
She's
Somebody.
very, she's very mischievous.
Yeah.
Am I?
You are. You're very mischievous.
I see her
I'm
that when
watching-
I see her that when I was much younger. I said,
Who is watching you?
I'm watching you in
Side eye.
7D.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
You
It
know, from
works.
behind. From
Oh, darling, don't go behind.
But very seriously unserious.
Very unserious today, but hey, we have to keep the mood a bit
Yeah.
relaxed so that we can have a great conversation, right?
Yeah.
So tonight, right, in partnership with Enough is Enough, if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, just head on now quickly and go and subscribe. So in partnership with Enough is Enough, we want to go through Nigeria at 64, a journey from our present challenges to a prosperous future. And of course, as we celebrate our progress, it's important to acknowledge the challenges that we face. These issues have been persistent, but they are not insurmountable. Of course, the current challenges right now in Nigeria, high unemployment, especially amongst youth, ongoing insecurity in various regions, gaps between rulers and true leaders, widespread corruption, stifling development, inconsistent power supply, hindering growth, high poverty levels across the nation. Those are the challenges. I wanted to quickly touch on this high unemployment rate. I mean, part of what we're doing within our company in Parallax is to ensure that we are building solutions that helps to tackle youth unemployment, right? And and put them in a position where they can attract what's it called? They become employable. Because some of these young people, they are unemployable, and they do not have the skills. Most of them, yeah. So we are doing that. So I'll come to you, Messi.
All right, so next is that our vision for 2060 will be, this is not just a dream, but a vision of what Nigeria can achieve by its centenary if we work together. And so the vision for 2060 is that thriving economy with abundant job opportunity, peaceful, stable society with strong governance, accountable, empathic leadership. That's very important. I mean, it just reminds me of what Sam Adeyemi talked about. He said that to the leaders, appealing. Can they add empathy? Like, can they add some conscience?
Yeah.
In his word, conscience to the power, because we see wickedness. All right, so another one is transparent, fair society with minimal corruption and 247 power supply, fueling
God, I beg you.
industrialization, widespread prosperity, and improved quality of life. Let's look at how we can transform our challenges into opportunities for growth and development. And that's talking about bridging the gap.
Absolutely.
Well, here are the key focus areas: innovative policies and youth empowerment, community-driven initiatives and strong governance, cultivating accountable people-focused leaders, building systems for accountability and justice, investing in reliable power and key sectors, also fostering inclusive, sustainable development. Here's our call to action to Nigerians. First, active citizenship and community engagement is very important. Holding leaders accountable, supporting local innovations and businesses, and finally, participating in the democratic process is not for them, it's for everybody. Don't wait. Most importantly, if Nigeria will change, it will possibly not come from the office of the president. It will start with this office of the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that is a saying that is attributed to Femi Longi, the co-founder of CC Hub. Happy Independence Day, Nigeria.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's it. So tonight, right, in conversation, we're going to be having two guests join us much later to discuss this Edo crisis, because this thing is just getting too much. It's out of hand. So Philip Shaibu, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, storms the government house with armed policemen. And we will be joined by senior legal practitioners, and of course, another guest will join us to have this conversation. And here's what we found as today's quote. It says, "To safeguard democracy, the people must have a keen sense of independence, self-respect, and their oneness." And this was from Mahatma Gandhi. All right, so when we open our phone lines, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this conversation, especially if you're in Edo State, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is this drama happening between your governor and your deputy? Why are they not able to resolve the issue, right? When we open our phone lines, we'll hear all of that. But first, let's run off on a break. When we come back from that break, we'll just run through what we found in today's news. Stay with us. All right, thanks for staying with us now. International Translation Day is celebrated on September 30th each year. It recognizes the crucial role that translators and interpreters play in facilitating communication across languages and culture. The date marks the feast of Saint Jerome, the patron saint of translators. The day also promotes the importance of translation in fostering understanding and cooperation in an increasingly interconnected world. Various events, workshops, and discussions are held globally to honor the profession and raise awareness about the challenges and the significance of translation work. It's a great time to reflect on how translation helps bridge cultural divides. Now, hey, who is a translator here? Or who has taken on the role of translation before?
Well, because I don't speak international languages, my translating obviously would be at a local level. I'm a certified linguist, by the way.
Oh,
I
awesome.
studied the orthography of languages as my second degree. So,
That works.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so let me come to you, Marianne. What did you find for us in the news?
Oh my God! You should have saved the best for the last. But hey, here we go.
No, we give the best. We give the best for the first.
Yes. Well, this is a story about the NNPC. A former aide of President Goodluck Jonathan decided to wade in on behalf of the NNPC because Nigerians have been really hitting hard on the NNPC with their stories that they've been feeding us back and forth. They tell us one lie and then they backtrack. So this man here says NNPC has operated professionally. Ima Niboro is saying that the company deserves praises for handling of petrol supply. Let me give you some background. Ima Niboro is former spokesperson to ex-president Goodluck Jonathan. Now, he says that Nigerians should commend the leadership of the NNPC Limited for its handling of petrol supply in the country despite the many obstacles. The NNPC, in his words, has played a very responsible role, especially under its present leadership. Now, he said this in an interview with the cable newspaper. He went further to say that since it became a company, it's being run professionally. But they have gone over and beyond in the things that they have had to do for the nation as its energy supplier of last resort. So I have questions for Mr. Niboro. Is it in the lie that they said they did not owe any money to suppliers? Then they now backtrack two weeks later. Is it in the lie that they have told us that refineries will be up, they will be up and running? January, it did not happen. July, it did not happen. Why in September?
We're in October.
Even
you know,
August,
literally. Yeah? So what are we supposed to be praising them for? The lies? The fact that monies, you know, find their way out of their coffers and they can't trace them. The fact that our oil finds its way into the high sea and they never see, they only tell us after the oil has disappeared. The fact that illegal refining continues to happen in this country and the NNPC folds its arms only for them to come back to us to buy expensive fuel. What are we praising them for? Making our lives worse?
We'll leave it there. All right, so let me come to you.
I don't know.
All right, so for me, I found something around the power sector. He talks about 40%. I mean, as a matter of fact, this morning when I woke up, there was a hashtag that was actually topping the charts on Twitter, and it was just hashtag 40%. And I thought to myself, what's going on? Are we now sharing, you know, some resources in this country that I'm left out? Let me quickly check, and then I found that, you know, 40% of Nigerians are enjoying 20 hours electricity supply daily. That's according to the Minister of Power right there. And I'd like to ask, you know, so it's going to vary. How many hours of power supply do you enjoy daily?
I'm in the 1 percentile that enjoys at least 18 to 20 hours, you know, power supply. But I pay through my nose.
But how many hours of power supply do you? Same? Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know when there's power outage in my house because
you're usually
I have solars and inverters.
But you're here now, so how do you measure power supply here?
Here, I think it's been fair, but you know, again, there are general challenges that they have. That you just the light, but I don't think we're enjoying that 40.
No, you know, because office, no. When I saw that, as much as there's going to be some agreement that you have a certain level of improvement in terms of electricity supply, it's kind of improved, but to look at 40% of the population, we're talking about 233,862,699. That's according to, you know, the latest data reports from the United Nations. That's the population of Nigeria. Don't forget that it's estimated. So if we're doing the calculation, approximately we're going to be looking at 40% of the population of Nigeria.
No, are we looking at 40% of the population?
So I'm telling you,
household.
No, they're saying 40% of the population.
Household, because it's
so if you say,
that statistic is wrong because it has to
when
be
you
household.
say when you say Nigerians, right? If you're saying Nigerians now, are you counting Nigerians per household?
No, I think it
has to be household
because you don't have power when you leave your house.
That number is even further going to be.
Yeah.
So the truth is that's why a lot of people felt that, you know, there's a lot of propaganda going on, and what do you even tag as fake news? Because you just don't. I feel that we're very comfortable on this side of the divide to usually measure percentage.
Sorry,
now you don't just chunk out percentage
does Adelabu pay
without
for light? Does he know how many hours of power supply he has in his home?
You
and
don't,
even if he does have it, he is still in the 1 percentile.
So
the people who have lights. I don't agree with that percentage.
So
and
good.
I think that
the question, the conversation right here is that yes, power might have improved in certain quarters, but we cannot agree to the fact that 40%. So I just told you that the total population of Nigeria, according to statistics available, is 862,699. So if you're doing 40%, we're saying that approximately 93,545,000.
And I'm telling you
No,
that's
you're
not
wrong.
correct.
It's
Let's
not.
take
Power
a break.
Supply. You get,
I'm telling
right?
you that number is not correct because it's not going to be possible.
Okay, so I just
If you
wanted
want
us to help us
if
do
you
the
want to
calculation.
discuss power, you're discussing
It's
per
per household, not
it
per
is not. It's
person.
not per person, right?
Because
yeah,
you don't live alone.
I don't live alone.
Well,
And
I live
besides-
alone,
yeah.
but then I don't live alone in that
Absolutely.
compound.
So I just want to
it can
quickly
be.
mention that ASU, federal government says he has put together a team to avert the ASU strike tomorrow. You know, they had given the government a 14-day ultimatum to resolve certain lingering issues, which they actually failed to resolve. So there's supposed to be a planned strike tomorrow. So let's see how that goes. We'll take a break now.
So tired of
when
this
we
government.
come back from that break, yes, we want to discuss Edo State. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, tonight on the show, we want to look at Edo State. Of course, we just concluded its gubernatorial elections. Now, it's no longer news that there has been an ongoing crisis between the sitting governor and the reinstated deputy governor, Philip Shaibu. That's Godwin Obaseki and his deputy, Philip Shaibu. Tensions have escalated as Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu made headlines by storming the government house with armed police officers. In fact, that's the video there. Now, this dramatic move highlights the deepening rift between Shaibu and Governor Godwin Obaseki, a conflict that has seen both leaders exchanging barbs and engaging in legal battles. So we want to have the conversation and, of course, understand this unfolding situation. We want to explore the implications, right, of this power tussle on the Edo people, because in the end, they say when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffer. The legal challenges both leaders are facing, and of course, what it means, you know, as I said, to the citizens. To join us to have this conversation is a senior legal practitioner. He has an LLB from Ambrose Ali University and an LLM from the University of Lagos. He is a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbiters, United Kingdom. Also, we have the institute. He is also with the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria and the Chartered Institute of Taxations of Nigeria, the director of APC New Media in Edo State. And joining us also to have the conversation will be Elvis E. Asia and Osigwe Omo Ikiroda. I hope I called the name right, Ikiroda. All right, thank you so much. Who am I going to start with? Let me start with you, Elvis. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope I did not murder anything with the pronunciations. Okay, so Elvis, tell me, see, this Edo State drama, right, that's been going on. There was tussle, there was an impeachment, then there was a court order that reinstated the deputy governor. Why are we still having this crisis, and what exactly is going on in Edo State?
Well, I mean, what's going on is the failure of political players to play by the rule. And we have seen, for example, you mentioned the circumstances of that impeachment wasn't quite right. The reasons I was given wasn't quite right, and the court in July made a decision that the impeachment was wrong. There was a declaration that was made in that regard. The Edo State government appealed that decision, and they also filed an application for stay of execution. Traditionally and by convention in law practice, when that is done, to mean that the judgment that was obtained cannot be given effect to until the court, makes a pronouncement on the application for stay of execution. But however, in the case of declaratory judgment, like most of the reliefs that were granted by the court, there are Supreme Court decisions to the effect that you cannot actually stay declaratory judgments. And so, so you have these two arguments on both sides. On the side of the Edo State government, they have an application for stay, and so Honorable Philip Shaibu should wait until the court decides.
Oh, wow. The network is frozen. This is why we run away from Zoom. But do you agree with him, though?
Well, I mean, if the Edo State case has been a very, very sensitive and very dicey situation, almost looking like what would happen in River State. But then, whether we try to use legalese or not, what has happened in Edo State, it's not the first time it's happened. These court cases have a way of growing into a life of its own. For example, we've seen many of these set up or impeachments. We see it happen. Once the governor wants you gone, especially in the case of a Philip Shaibu who was dining with the governor and still dining, with the other party. And what he had...
But his dining with the other party, was it not as a result of the governor not
the fallout?
No, yeah, the fallout, because
no,
he expected that the work he had put into getting the governor to this position, the governor would have supported his ambition.
So, I followed Philip Shaibu and the governor from the APC into the PDP.
Of course.
From the moment Philip Shaibu moved to the PDP, he started complaining that the people he brought from the APC were not given, offices in the PDP. How can that happen? He was asking for things that were unreal. Obaseki and he were just reabsorbed into the PDP. You can't show up today and tell the guys who have been sitting down there to get up for you to sit. This is the beginning. That was the genesis of his problems. And of course, when you bite the fingers that fed you in that case, you're ruffling feathers. It's going to start. Because in my place, they say, water never dry for your body. You don't show yourself. Do you understand? He started it. But because in Nigeria, we quickly forget how these things play out. Philip started making a case the moment he went into the PDP. Our officials that we came with, that we left the APC with, you've not given them any positions. The PDP was not going to do that. Also remember that while he had moved with Obaseki, many had pointed fingers at him, saying he was a mole.
Okay, let me bring back our guest. I think he's back again. Elvis, are you there? Yeah, we lost you for a second.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly now. Please go ahead. Do you agree with what Marianne just said? And also, just please go ahead with where you were.
Yeah, so I was trying to explain that, where we stand currently, I mean, in terms of the legalese now, is that the Philip Shaibu camp believes that the judgment of the court was mere declarations. And so because there are decisions of the court that declarations cannot be stayed, then, they can go ahead and continue to enjoy the benefits of the office. But, the truth of the matter is that once there's an application pending in court, or the court determines it, it will not be proper for any party to, try to go ahead and enforce, even if, whether or not the court is going to grant the application is a different matter entirely. So, but beyond that, this dispute between Obaseki and Philip Shaibu obviously started from the Philip Shaibu's attempt to nurse the ambition to succeed his principal, which was not supported. It will appear that there may have been some implied or expressed agreement between the two for Obaseki to support him, and which was why he was very loyal to Obaseki, fought his own, what you can even call a father to him, a father figure to him in politics and in his own part of the state. He fought him, assisted him in his re-election, stood his ground when they practically emasculated and the Edo State House of Assembly. So Philip Shaibu was, used, so to say, but when it came to the point of him asserting himself to be governor, it appears that the governor didn't support that. And that appears to be the genesis of all of these crises that we have had. But unfortunately, just like it was mentioned at the studio, there's the people that suffer when political actors like this fight without due regards to rules. It's always important for people to play by the rules. You look at the elections that happened in those states recently, for example, the PDP is crying. But, on their own side, on their own end too, they have not also been following the rules. People should always stick to following the rules so that, it's not only when it is to your disadvantage that you cry out. This dispute obviously is a case of people not following proper rules. Impeachment shouldn't be a weapon that a governor or a political party can just bring from nowhere to push out a deputy governor. The position of a deputy governor is supposed to be constitutionally recognized and protected. And so, and when you are impeaching a deputy governor, there are clear constitutional provisions on it, which, in my view, wasn't really followed. You saw the allegations that were made about him disclosing secrets. If a party decides to go to court over an issue, you cannot, those court proceedings are privileged. You can't punish a party for going to court. He was being punished for going to court to assert his rights or whatever it is against the Edo State government, because by going to court, you definitely put in some facts before the court. And those are the facts that they rely on to say that he had disclosed official secrets on the basis of which he was impeached by the House of Assembly, which clearly was a political move in preparation for the.
Well, we've clearly seen how that move has dented Obaseki's plan for an Aswe Godalo's succession. But let me come to you, Marianne.
Well, I just want to ask, because, as much as, like I said, the legalese is very important, court processes are supposed to be followed, but at what point has a governor not appointed or anointed someone who wanted to precede him that the person won? I mean, we have examples of former deputy governor here in Lagos. We have an example of a former deputy for Donald Duke who disappeared right after he decided that he was going to run against the governor's will. And we've seen it happen so many times. We saw Anambode kicked out again most recently. So really, as much as we're talking about the laws, how many times have politicians really stuck by the laws in this country in terms of politics?
That's why we are where we are. People don't stay by the laws. Every Nigerian citizen, whether a deputy governor or any position that you hold, you have a right to want to contest as president, as governor. You see, the problem we are having is that most of the governors feel too powerful. Basically, was even referring to him in Maton. I'm sure for my sister on the studio, that's a Benin person, she understands what that means. He said, well, Maton, that's the way he was, because he would tell you to go to her, he's going to, and you can see that everything came to haunt the candidature of Aswe Godalo in the last election. We must learn to stick by the rules. Yes, I'm not support of. He was saying that he wanted power to move to the Edo Central. He didn't want power to move back to Edo North on the basis of equity. Those are valid points. But are you going to now and twist, strong hand and emasculate and subjugate your deputy governor because of that? That is not a constitutional provision, limitation or restriction on the right of the deputy governor to contest. You showed him to, test his mettle in terms of whether or not it was, his popularity, whether or not it was going to succeed at the primaries, rather than using these tactics.
Okay, let me bring in Osigwe. Absolutely. Let me bring in Osigwe. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's hear your 2 cents on your own overall assessment on the Edo crisis right now between the Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu and his principal Governor Godwin Obaseki. Osigwe, are you there?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm here.
Please go ahead.
You can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you clearly now. Thank you for joining us. Yes, go ahead. Oh, wow. Did we lose him again? It's frozen.
Okay, good evening. Thank you. And having you people here, having you guys having me today on the show. So now, concerning this issue that has been occurring between Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu, like the speaker just earlier said, it's a case of Godwin Obaseki, for me, not being grateful for the effort that Philip Shaibu put into not only his re-election bid, but supporting him for over these 8 years that he has been in office. So what Obaseki have done was that we are running a democracy, and when we are running a democracy, everybody has the right to be voted for and to vote. So Obaseki, in as much as he could not give or does not want to give his support to Philip Shaibu, he's done it in a more diplomatic way. And you like it or not, ostracizing Philip Shaibu and taking him out of the government house is one of the issues that have caused his downfall today, and that he's been disgraced from the office. Because what we could have expected was that, like Comrade Adams Oshomole did in 2016, when he went to bring in Godwin Obaseki, he never supported his deputy, Dr. Odubu, but still yet, he allowed him play this game. He allowed participate in the democratic process of the party primaries, the APC. And at the end of the day, is Oshomole's preferred choice, which was Godwin Obaseki, won at the end of the day and left Odubu. And where's the one since then? Odubu entered the party and he did not leave the party. So Obaseki could have done was still reasons with Philip Shaibu and tell him why he would not support him. He has valid points because, like we said, we're looking like, taking the governorship back from after Oshomole handed over the governorship to Godwin Obaseki, who is from Edo South, Oshomole is from Edo North, then the power going back to Edo North. If you can look at it morally and ethically, you could look at, there are some flaws. So Obaseki could have advanced his points, but Obaseki has shown over these years that he has some tributes of being a dictator when it comes to such issues, because he doesn't want to hear he doesn't want to hear decent voices or maybe critics concerning way of leadership and government.
Are these politicians not all the same when it comes to their deputies? And I mean, look at what you just attributed to what's it called, Adams Oshomole, saying that his own deputy. And is it that deputies are meant to be figureheads? Are they not meant to succeed a governor? I don't understand.
No, constitutionally they're yes men. Anywhere in the world, they're yes men.
Go ahead.
No, it's funny, but from my personal experience, I see that most deputies have issues with their governor because that years of stewardship, when they've done 8 years, they must have had some personal issues. They must have had some 1 or 2 things that the governor might just be scared handing over to his deputy and looking at maybe the deputy might take a pound of flesh from him when he gets to power. It happens because in the history of this country, we have only like 3 people that have succeeded the governors, 3 or thereabout. So was when those people that succeeded the governor, immediately they succeeded the governor, like in Kano and Zamfara State, immediately they turned against their predecessor. So maybe it's just something that they're trying to be careful about, or they feel maybe the deputy governor may be too close to them and knows so many things about them, but it's just the way it is.
All right. So
I don't know whether they can't trust. But normally, the deputy is supposed to succeed the governor for continuation and continuity.
No.
This is. I mean, I've been saying it is not.
So the thing is, it's a right. It's not a right. The Constitution doesn't say anywhere.
So if that were the case, then there's no reason why the Constitution says that people should vote and be voted for. Now, what then happens to the party politics? Because there are also other members of the political party that really would have an ambition of becoming either governor or whatever it is in the party. So it's not that's not like a hereditary thing that you transfer to another thing. It's not. So if you say that, then it makes nonsense of the Constitution. It makes nonsense of our democracy that when you have a deputy governor, then the deputy governor has to automatically hand over to, or the governor hands over to the deputy governor. It doesn't work that way. It's not a democracy. It's a different kind of thing. So if that's what we're doing, let's spell it out. Although we have seen that play out, but it's not obtainable. That's not what a democracy should be. People should allow, at the party level, we already understand that people begin to, come out and say, hey, we have interest, express their interest to, hold position at the party level. And then at the party level, elections are conducted. So where does democracy come in if we now begin to practice a system where, deputy governors are allowed to succeed the governors automatically? I know that that's the practice, but then it's not, because what you are saying is that, that's what
it's saying automatically.
But that's what
you said. That's what it should be. And we're trying to say that no.
Okay,
you said it twice.
Let him clarify.
No, you said that twice.
Go ahead, please.
It helps. There are pros and disadvantages. Ideally, if the deputy governor succeeds the governor, there's continuity will be seamless.
What sort of continuity? So what happens to party at the party level? It doesn't work. I mean, that's not democracy anymore, sir.
No, hold on. Let him land his point. You know what? Land your point, then we'll take a break. Go ahead, please.
So I was trying to say ideally, it's an advantage. Even everything has its pros and its cons. For example, now, if I am the governor, executive governor, and I have worked with for the past 8 years, it is expected that I would wish him to succeed me. Then he can be able to carry on my reforms or continue with my continuity, because what we lack in Nigeria basically is continuity. Because if there's continuity, projects will be completed. That is why even if you look at the present government today, they've acted on the need for them to continue abandoned projects and all that, you know. But what I'm trying to say is that the deputy governors, and most times, if you look at, they are not brought by the governor-elect or the gubernatorial candidate. They are most times brought by the party. So, like from ab initio, sometimes the deputy governor might not be on the same page, governor, but might have no choice than to just follow what the party has said and, you know, accept his role. So, if the governors, for example, can be allowed to be able to choose their deputy governors, it will go a long way to have a relationship that will seem flawless between both of them.
Okay.
But this case, this particular, you would notice that Obaseki just did not want any, what do you call it, any form of opposition at all towards his choice of Aswa Ighodalo as his successor. He never wanted it, so he never wanted to take chances. And most times when these politicians do not want to take chances, they make big mistakes because they shut themselves to, you know, they shut themselves to outside advices and some other things that they need, but just take their own personal decision, and it affects them. What Obaseki simply could have done in this situation was to find reason with Philip Shaibu why he was not going to support him, and tell him that wherever he wants to go, if he wants to go for Senate, he wants to go for any other thing, he would give him his support and plead with him why he wants, you know, Aswa Ighodalo to be his
So you
successor.
just feel that this is a
Obaseki
people
did not do
management
this. He just tried to do.
It was a people, he didn't manage Philip Shaibu appropriately. All right, so let's take a very short break. Sorry.
He just did not manage it well.
At all. Okay, let's take a short break, right? When we come back from that break, I think Messi still has more questions to ask. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having a conversation around the Edo crisis, how Philip Shaibu stormed the government house with armed policemen, with a senior legal practitioner that has joined us, Elvis Asia, and of course, the director of the APC New Media in Edo State, Osigwe Omo Ikiroda. Now, thank you so much, guys, for staying with us. Now, please remember, you can join this conversation, especially if you're from Edo State and you're watching. Join the conversation and call us on 07025007749. That's the number to call. And you can also send us an SMS on 080. Oh, sorry. Just call the numbers on the screen. All right, Messi, let me come to you.
So first off, I will be asking my question, but before then, I'd like to say that I don't agree with your thoughts as regards the continuity and, you know, political party. That's not the case. We currently have, at the federal level, at the center, we have an APC government who is on board. And prior to this time, we had an APC government for 8 years, and another APC government had just started. So you see the whole thing about allowing for continuity doesn't work. I remember once upon a time in Cross River State. No, just hold on for a minute. He said something about
you were talking about APC government. Listen, if I hear him correctly,
he said something about.
If I hear him correctly, what he said, your deputy. So imagine if
he said
Buhari,
if you hand over.
Hold on, if Buhari had handed over to Osibajo, it would have been a different case. So you're not talking about an APC government. So, you're talking about people handing over that they have worked together
and
for
so
8 years.
What is the difference?
Let me land.
No,
Messi, let me land.
So what is now the difference?
They have worked together for 8 years. And now, because you are working with me for 8 years, you already know the blueprint, you already know the plan. So it's going to easily be a seamless transition.
Can I ask you a question now? Can I ask you a question now? So what then happens to you and I from the same family? So what then happens to that? They are individuals that are from the same party and they cannot continue. And you think that when they are, because I was a deputy governor and you're a governor, you will continue from where I stopped? That's not true. If they cannot even have it at a party level work, then I don't think it can work at that level. Because that's the argument that you're bringing, that if they were connected.
The question to Elvis.
But Elvis, this is what I wanted to ask.
What normally brings problem between them is ambition. That is what is bringing the problem between them. If you notice in Edo State, for the past years, like 7 years, Obaseki did not go anywhere without Philip Shaibu. He did not go anywhere without the SSG, Osarodo Oge. They were always together. Even when the first chief of staff that resigned from the government, Taiwo Akerele, you could always see them. They were like the 3-4 musketeers. Anywhere Obaseki was, you would see Philip Shaibu. Where the problem is the ambition. Philip Shaibu wanted to succeed his principal, and the principal wanted him to lead him. And like they said, like the other speaker said, maybe they could have built a secret pact between Philip Shaibu, because Obaseki faced a lot of problems. When Obaseki had no home, when he had nowhere to run to, it was the same Philip Shaibu that gave his structure and, you know, pulled him out and structured a deal with the PDP that gave him home. So it was the ambition entitled. He has done a lot in Obaseki's administration, and Obaseki has given me his words, maybe severally, that yes, you will be my source. But all of a sudden, he's now coming with somebody who they feel is from outside to succeed.
Okay, let me bring in Elvis.
Manage the crisis very well.
You should have just managed that crisis better.
And like, you know, Edo man, they are very proud people. You should know Edo people are proud. I as go say make everything spoil. So that was the role Philip Shaibu played.
Now everything not spoil.
His government might not even end well.
Yeah. Let me bring in Elvis, because in all of these things, as I said earlier, you see all this drama that is going on. What is happening to governance in Edo State? You know, how do you see this impacting governance?
Well, first, let me quickly just make a point on the previous on the reasons why most governors don't support their deputies. I would have been shocked if Obaseki had supported Philip Shaibu, because Philip Shaibu was, you know, he had a structure. Obaseki had nothing politically. So, and you can see that during the course of the jolly times that they had together, most popular deputy governor in the country. You know, and one of the shielders of power says that you should not outshine the master. So Obaseki saw him as a competitor, as who had a lot of power and political structure. You know, and that is one of the reasons why I didn't support him. They always want somebody that they can use. That was what they thought. If Obaseki became something else with the collaboration he had with Shaibu. Apple said that in terms of governance, you see, Edo people has last 1 year, because you know what we have had in the last 1 year essentially has been politics. You know, Obaseki has practically forgotten governance. He has focused on electing his choice of candidate, who was Aswe Udalo. We are with the crisis now between him and deputy. We are seeing that much is not being done. You know, the reason why some of us supported him in his re-election bid was because of some changes. We saw somebody that was going to transform those, but you know, has stagnated at the level of, you know, like the people on the street will tell you that at the level of MOUs, you know, and so that I'm around those things right now. You can see the polls that the Philip Shaibu was showing, and those are areas, popular areas in Benin City. You know, I mean, the GROA is so reserve areas in the state. When it rains now, you can't move around. The state capital is practically overwhelmed by. You can't move around to other parts of the state. I can access my village right now. As I speak to you now, people from my community we are contributing funds to go and grade road that leads to my village, because it is not there for years. And that's what we are. You see, that's one of the reasons why this election. Yes, there were a lot of manipulations, vote buying, and all of that. But no, what counted was the fact that governance was, you know, midway. The governor became too. You know, it became faction politicians. Look at the elections. It wasn't even Aswe Godalo, Modu Kwebulo, and Olugbudi Akpata. It was a prosy war between Obaseki and Adam Oshomole.
Elvis, I have a quick question. Elvis, if you don't mind, I have a quick question. Our other guest, the APC man, made a point about the fact that Adams Oshomole gave his deputy an opportunity to play in the field. In other words, throw his hat into the ring. But also watching how things have played out between Obaseki and his deputy. Because you've also said something about deputies being yes men and not trying to be too over ambitious. Even if this guy was given an opportunity to throw his hat in the ring, knowing that he would still not win, do you think that this war would have somewhat abated?
I think so. You know, every human being wants to be respected, right? When you have worked hard for somebody, you fought your own people for somebody, you fought your political father. Shomole is like a father to Philip Shaibu. If you go and look at their history, you know, he took time with Obaseki, right? In all the battles that Obaseki fought, Philip Shaibu, he's the man on the streets. He's the man that had access to what they now refers to as lagas in Edo State. And so he was the one, he was in touch with the people, those who can make things happen, like the charade that he did with the Edo State inauguration at some point. You know, Shaibu was the one man behind all of that, so he became entitled. And so, and even assuming that person, you need to respect the person. I mean, you know, like my colleague said here, didn't want Odubu to succeed him, but of course, he actually fought to get him out of the race, but he gave him the satisfaction of participating in the process. You know, at least but Obaseki didn't allow that, because Obaseki knew that Shaibu had a lot of power and you know, he has a very wide structure with the legacy PDP that he could have used. You know, to defeat his candidate, and that was why he wanted to just get him out of the way, and that's why we are where we are now. And governance has,
okay, so I want to
has come to a standstill in Edo State. It's very...
Thank you. I want to come back to Osigwe. You are the director of what's your position now for the APC? The director of media for the APC.
APC Media 2024 campaigns.
Awesome. Now your party has won the election, right? Edo State has a huge deficit when it comes to infrastructure. I mean, it's painful.
Right from Oshomole's time.
It's very painful, and this is not an Obaseki thing. It's not like literally it's from what's his name, the first Ignadion.
Yes.
So and that has been the problem for ages. So how is Okpebolo going to change the situation in Nigeria? But before you answer that, let me quickly take a caller. Loma, you're live. Go ahead. Oh, we lost him. Okay, go ahead, Osigwe, because again, all of this drama really doesn't bug me. Honestly, these are human egos just playing around, right? The people of Edo State need feasible governance. They need infrastructure. They need better livelihood, better life, right? So how is your candidate, I mean, the governor-elect, we can call him that.
He is the governor-elect.
Declared by INEC. You know, so the caller? Okay, let me take the caller, then I'll come back to you. Loma, you're live.
Good evening, my dear sister.
Good evening.
Happy end of the month to every one of you for surviving this hardship.
We have survived September.
God bless us all.
Yes, so go ahead, please, quickly.
See, let me tell you, Obaseki got it a little bit wrong. Obaseki is supposed not to have supposed not to have fought
Shaibu.
I'm telling you. Because Felix Shaibu is a grounded politician. So when you try to fight somebody who is grounded, you are bound to fail. And he did not stop there. He went and fought with Oba of Benin. It's quite unfortunate. He's supposed not to be doing that. Every of your enemy, people that were your friends, you continue fighting with them, creating more enemies. But the only thing I want to let us know, any man in politics, you fail to recognize the ladder that leads you to the top, you are about to fail. So I beg people in Edo to forgive Obaseki. He did not do well. He really fights with all political heavyweights there. So that is why they lose that election. But I want to tell us, If we continue dwelling this and forget about the suffering, Tinubu is suffering us, it will not be good. Please, make the October 1st broadcast, Mr. President, please, make Nigeria, forgive us for not voting for you last year. Please, make Nigeria better for us. Thank you very much.
We are definitely going to talk about our situation in Nigeria tomorrow because that's our conversation. But let me go back to your segue. The question I had asked, how is Okpebolo going to help the people of Edo State? How is he going to change things?
Frozen.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Elvis, you want to step in there? Because we lost.
Well, would he be speaking in that capacity?
Yeah.
I think that,
No, because they should have a blueprint. Because guess what? Whilst Aswe and Olumide Akpata were busy talking all over the place, all over media. Okpebolo said no, he's talking to the people in the creek, and he understands, hold on, he understands their challenges. So he is focusing on grassroots. Obviously, he must have promised a lot of things. This is what I plan to deliver.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, but that's a quick one. Let's look at Elvis. I'd like you to describe, the action of deputy, or should we still call him deputy governor?
The government is still in power, yes.
Deputy Governor Shaibu. How would you describe all of that? Because some people have said that it's illegal, it's contravening the law,
showing up in the government house.
Showing up in the government house. A quick one, as a man of the law, what would you say? How would you describe that?
If you go on even Wikipedia today, you will see that both the Shaibu and Mobile Godwin are described as the governors of the state. So right now, people are rightly confused as to who the governor is, deputy governor is. But the point is that what has he really done? He didn't storm the government house. From the reports I have seen, he just said he went to inspect some ongoing projects in preparation to hand over to the new sheriff in town. I think that's what I saw him say. So I don't really see anything, legally wrong in what he has done, because quite frankly, the judgment of the courts, setting aside his impeachment, it was a declaratory judgment. It's not something you can even stay, really. It's self-executory. There's nothing to execute with police or beliefs or court there. It's just a mere declaration of the position of the law. And so I don't see anything illegal or unconstitutional in what he has done. Provided he doesn't resort to violence or, storming the government house. I don't think he has done that. But what I see has done is to visit ongoing projects according to him. Even an ordinary person like myself, I can go and inspect the ongoing projects of the state government. So I don't see the legality.
Elvis, as what now?
As a citizen.
As a citizen of the Federal Republic.
Plus, he's also illegal. Please, I'm speaking.
Elvis,
Elvis, go ahead, please.
It's so funny. Sorry, Elvis. Go ahead.
The citizens were more important than the governors. Absolutely. And the presidents. Unfortunately, this is the way they have made it look as if they are the most important people.
Elvis, so let me just tease you. Where you are going, just make sure you let me know so we go together.
You'll be part of the entourage.
You will be my bulletproof in case.
I just told you now that we are putting money together to upgrade the road to the list of my village. That's the responsibility of government. So if government is not doing that, I can go and inspect. People come and see that nothing is happening here. There's nothing wrong in doing that.
Absolutely.
And like I said, this is a declaratory judgment. That's the way I see it.
Okay. All right. So Osigwe, are you still there? Let's just have like your 2 minutes or 2 seconds conversation. Are you there? Oh, did we lose him completely? Unfortunately.
Thank you, Elvis.
Thank you so much, Elvis, for your time. But we have to run. So Marianne and Messi.
I'm sorry.
Messi Okpebolo.
I don't understand you again.
I'm giving you a new surname now.
My papa, I be that.
But on a serious note,
Go ahead.
If we're not for this election, Edo State would have become River State. You see with the drama that's happening in Rivers.
Yeah.
But again, I would have really loved the APC man to answer me, because for many, they're saying, look, if the PDP likes, they could go to court forever. That state's gone to the APC and that's it.
Well, originally,
who won that election?
No, before this time.
It was the APC that won the election.
I'm saying from the beginning.
Yes, now, 8 years ago, it was the APC that won the election.
See, the PDP and the APC in Edo State is APC.
They are one and the same.
Yeah.
They are one and
The
the
more
same.
you look, the less you see.
It's
telling
almost
you.
the same thing that happened with Cross River. Remember that Cross River is
That's
a
a clear
PDP
case
state,
of Cross River because
right?
the governor
PDP
sat there
state,
and moved parties, and then all of a sudden the state
everybody
became
becomes an APC state.
I mean, so
but it just takes one person again to swindle back, and then everybody returns back to PDP, and that's how it.
No,
that's
but
how
this
it
just
happens.
tells you that the PDP structure is not strong enough because where the foot soldiers are in the APC.
The
Do you understand?
The truth is that the political parties that are supposedly big in this country don't have ideologies.
Good, you just took out
They have
government mouth.
nothing to go by. It's anywhere belle face.
That's why it's easy
Anywhere I
for.
go win.
That's why it's
it.
easy for you to see anybody 1 minute
I mean,
now.
look at the
You'll be
big guys.
shocked.
Look at the big guys. Except Obasanjo. Look at everybody who has ruled this country. They have all and Jonathan.
Cross-carpeted.
They've all crisscrossed. Whether it be Buhari, whether it be Tinubu today,
All of
whether
them.
it be
And you'll be shocked.
All of them. All right, so we need to run. Thank you so much, Maria. I think this was fun.
Yeah, this was a
Why
great
are we always
conversation.
having fun on Mondays?
Sunday is a fun day, even though they think it's too serious.
It's too serious, right? So that's why we have to soft pedal a little bit. Thank you so much to Elvis and Osigwe for joining us this evening. I mean, if they are going for that inspection, we'll follow them. Oh. Let's go and
We
check.
will be part of the entourage.
The
We'll be the
entourage.
advanced team.
Does
The
your
advanced
village
team.
have?
I will not be
Wait,
advanced team.
let me ask you.
No, I'm the team that will
Advanced
come
team
after
doesn't
the
Does
need
your
bulletproof.
village have road? People are going to
my
contribute.
village.
You
I
don't know.
know my village, but I don't vex. Before we go, I can say it boldly. I've never been to my village. It's fine.
No, we go follow you.
It's
Take
okay.
you.
I'm
go
not
village.
looking for
We
any
gave you over
political
to the
appointment.
north. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm
It's all right.
fine.
I know my village. I know my ward. I know everything. My constituents. I know all of them.
Before we go, ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's an official Upgrade TV. And this thing about village, why can't I run for an office where I live? Why do I have to go to a village that don't know me? Please, Mona, stop that thing. We have to change Nigeria. And that's our conversation tomorrow. We must change Nigeria. All right, follow us across all social media handles. Thank you so much to our guests that joined us. If you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe to our channel. If you missed our quote for today, here it is again. To safeguard democracy, the people must have a keen sense of independence, self-respect, and their oneness. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Yes, it's Independence Day tomorrow. Wear a touch of green or white or whatever. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Raise Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.